Hi, welcome back to section 4, Careers in Science. Okay, how would you like to live and work on an island? Can you work under challenging conditions such as extreme heat? Would you like to hike and explore new places? Would you enjoy flying in helicopters? If you've answered yes to these questions, maybe you should consider becoming a scientist. This job description probably doesn't match your idea of what a scientist does, but it accurately describes the work of a volcanologist, a scientist who studies volcanoes. A volcanologist do such things as collect and study samples of molten rock after a volcano has erupted. Other scientists can be found at work in oceans and laboratories, on glaciers, and in outer space. Wherever people are asking questions and searching for answers, they are using the skills of scientific inquiry. Okay. The branches of science. How many different science careers can you name? Your list would probably include such careers as astronauts, doctors, and engineers. But it could also include crystallographers, scientists who study three-dimensional structures of chemicals. How about ornithologists, scientists who study birds? As you can see, the term scientist spans many diverse fields and interests. Because the areas of science study are so diverse, scientists organize their work into three major branches or fields of science. These three main branches of science are earth and space science, physical science, and life science. Earth and space science. Earth and space science is the study of Earth and its place in the universe. Some Earth scientists study the forces that have shaped Earth throughout its long history. Others study Earth's oceans or its weather. Space scientists study the planets and stars that exist beyond the Earth. Physical science. Physical science includes the study of energy, motion, sound, light, electricity, and magnetism. It also includes chemistry, the study of tiny particles that make up all living things, from flowers to stars. Life science. Life science is a study of living things, including plants and animals and microscopic life forms. Life science also studies how living things interact with each other and with their surroundings. The study of the human body is part of life sciences too. All right, here's your checkpoint. What topics of study does physical science include? Take a minute, pause, and think about this. Okay, physical science includes the study of energy, motion, sound, light, electricity, and magnetism. Okay. All right, scientists working together. Although it is convenient to think of science as divided into three branches, these areas are not really separate at all. Most scientific questions being investigated today span the different fields of science. If you ever worked on a difficult jigsaw puzzle with friends, then you can understand how scientists study questions and solve problems. One friend might work on one corner of the puzzle while you work on another. Similarly, a physical science might investigate a piece of a scientific puzzle, while an earth scientist works on another piece of the same puzzle. As you read about two scientific questions being investigated today, you can see how they involve the cooperation of a wide range of scientists. Exploring beyond Earth. Will it someday be possible for humans to live in space? The International Space Station was designed in part to study this question. In orbit since 1998, this space station has been home to many crews who stay for months at a time. On board, scientists explore the challenges of living in space. On ground, hundreds of scientists make the work of the crew possible. So how is scientific inquiry similar to assembling a jigsaw puzzle? Okay, I'll give you a minute to think about that. If you need to push pause, go ahead. Okay, so a jigsaw puzzle. So scientists from different branches are working on different puzzles of the big project. And when you put all those together, you're going to be able to solve difficult problems and answer a lot of questions. But it takes a lot of scientists working together, okay? to use the analogy of players on a sports team to help reinforce this idea of this jigsaw puzzle. Okay, so let's talk about soccer. What responsibility does a soccer goalkeeper have? Okay, well, the goalkeeper protects against shots on the goal and almost never moves downfield. Okay, think about what are the different responsibilities of other players on the team. Forwards normally stay on the attack and at the opposite end, while the sweeper and other defensive backs almost never attack the goal. But it takes all of these players working together with different skill sets to win the game. So this is how scientists work together, kind of. They all take a different piece and they all work together to get the information that helps society as a whole. Okay? Okay, exploring Earth or exploring space. It takes the work of many scientists to address the challenges of living in space. Astronauts. Some astronauts pilot the space station while others carry out experiments. They must study how living in space affects muscle strength or whether crops can be grown in space. Computer scientists on Earth. Computer scientists design programs that manage many aspects of space flight, from keeping the temperature stable to controlling the space station's robotic arm. Food scientists. Eating in space is a challenge. Food scientists develop food for space flights that are easy to use, nutritious, and perhaps most importantly, tasty. Material scientists study the properties of materials such as ceramics to understand how they would perform in the harsh environment of space. Okay. Developing a new source of energy. Imagine running a bus that didn't run on gasoline, but on soybeans instead. Buses like these already exist in several cities. Fuels made from soybeans or other plant matter are called biofuels. Unlike gasoline and oil, biofuels burn cleaner and are readily available. What kinds of plants make good fuels? What conditions do they need to grow? And how can the energy in plants be converted into fuels? These are questions that botanists, soil scientists, chemists, and many other scientists are working together to answer. The goal of all these scientists is to produce a high-quality, inexpensive biofuels that do not contaminate or pollute the environment. All right, I want you to think, what is a biofuel? Push pause if you need to. All right, biofuels are renewable substances that do not pollute or contaminate the environment to produce energy. Okay? Okay, developing biofuels. Many scientists are studying biofuels as a promising new source of energy. Okay, so we have botanists. The fuel crops must be easy to grow, plant, and process. Botanists or plant biologists are studying soybeans, corn, trees, and fast-growing grasses as potential fuel crops. Soil scientists. Soil scientists provide information about soil conditions that help identify crops that may be used for both producing fuel and for improving the soil. Chemists. To obtain the best fuels, chemists analyzed chemical makeup in plants and experiments with various methods of producing fuels. All right, this is a lab. We might do together. We have not decided. If you want to do it on your own, you're more than welcome to do it on your own if we have not done it in class. All right, science and non-science careers. Okay, so many of you might choose not to be scientists, but you do need to understand science for your non-science careers. Are scientists the only people who need knowledge of science on the job? The answer is of course is no. In many non-science careers, a knowledge of a science is essential in order to perform the job. Just a few of the careers that involve science are presented here. A chef. Whether cooking a simple meal or creating a dessert masterpiece, chefs rely on science in the kitchen. Did you know that scrambling an egg involves chemistry? Or that living organisms are the key to baking delicious breads and cakes? And would you know how to prevent food from spoiling and causing sickness? A lot of science goes into what you eat. Artist. You might be surprised to learn that the work of artists involves science. Sculptors must know about the properties of the materials they use. For example, wood bronze would be a good material to use for an outdoor sculpture. Glass artists apply the physics of heating and cooling as they shape glass, and painters must understand the properties of paints, paper, and other materials they work with. Sound technicians, from concert halls to radio stations, sound technicians are busy behind the scenes. Their job is to make sure that the sound quality is at its best. Sound technicians must understand how sound waves travel and how they interact with different materials. Most sound technicians use electronic equipment to adjust the sound quality in different situations. A firefighter. When a fire alarm goes off, firefighters do not know what type of fire they will encounter. Is it a grease fire, an electrical fire, or something else? Do you know that some materials actually catch on fire if you spray them with water? Understanding chemistry helps firefighters put out fires and helps helps clean up hazardous spills quickly and safely. What is one way that science has evolved in an artist's career? Think about it. Okay, so you need to know how the paint interacts with the paper, or which paint works the best with what type of paper, or if you're painting a sculpture, which paint will stay on the longest. So all of that has to do with chemistry. All right, that is the end of our section for today. Please go to IC, go to section 4, and complete the form online and submit it. I will see you all tomorrow. Bye.